Hello, I am Dr. Debbie Baker. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I am helping with what we hope will be our community grief center in Greeley, Colorado, to serve all of northern Colorado. Today we are talking about the topic of grief. We all experience grief, and with me today I have a mother and a daughter that I want to introduce who have graciously offered to talk to about their own grief that they've experienced within their family. This is Jamie and her mother, Christy. And Christy, I'd like to start with you. If you would tell me about finding out about the death of your son, Ryan.
Sure. It's been 6 years ago on January 16th, and my husband Jeff and I were en route to a vacation with some friends. We were in the airport in Miami and we got a page, and we went to the appropriate desk they asked us to go to, and my husband took a phone call that changed our lives forever. It was our other daughter, Candace, calling to get a hold of us to let us know that our son Ryan had died.
Thank you for sharing that. It's important to have that background because now, Jamie, I want to turn to you, and you had young children at the time, and I know in talking to you previously that Ryan was very close to his niece and nephew. And if you would talk to me about your daughter and her reaction and how
Sure.
that was for you and what it led to.
Yeah. Well, right away we noticed a huge personality change in our daughter. She was 5.5, and she went from being just this spunky, bubbly, giggly little girl to just completely devoid emotion. She had just shut herself down. She didn't laugh anymore. And this is just in the days immediately following. She didn't cry. She never cried about him. She wouldn't cry when she was hurt. She was just, I mean, it was just like she had turned a switch off. So we tried to get help for her immediately because we were terrified. And we were referred to by a family friend to a child psychologist. And my mom and I actually met with her before taking my daughter in. But her approach to it was very clinical and aggressive. And I guess it left us feeling like it potentially could have done more harm than good. Mm-hmm. So we didn't go that route. After that, we met with our pastor at our church to see if he could refer us to anybody. And he basically just said that my husband and myself were the best people to be talking to our daughter, but didn't really have anything else to offer. So, overall, we felt pretty defeated.
And still searching to know what was the right thing to do for her.
Right.
And Christy, you have started a group for mothers who have lost children.
That's right.
And that came out of your inability to find the help, so you kind of reached out and started your own group. What have you found through that group?
A lot. I was introduced to a friend, or she's now a friend, a lady in Fort Collins who had started a group called Mothers Like Me, which specifically was for mothers who have lost children. And long story short, I started a group in Greeley for local mothers who have lost children in our area. And one thing that is just universal with these moms is that they are, they've lost a child, which is, it's just hard to deal with. It's different than losing a parent or a grandparent. It's unique. And as a mother, oftentimes you have other children too, and that maternal instinct drives you to not only make sure, you know, that your husband's doing okay, but that your other children are doing okay. And if you have grandchildren, you're concerned about them. So you are just exhausted in trying to make sure everybody's getting what they need. And with Sophie, I know we were just very concerned that we did the right thing, and trying to find out what we should watch for, what we should look for in her, and how we should help her was very frustrating.
So Sophie was 5.5 when Ryan died, and you were talking about you really didn't find what you were looking for. And Sophie is now 11 years old. Mm-hmm. So as you look at her as a mom and you look back at it, what, if you had found the help that you needed, what would that have looked like?
Well, I would have liked to have had the right words,
Okay.
you know, like to have been able to recognize things as they came. I guess I felt like I was always trying to catch up to what was going on. Like she would exhibit a certain behavior or something, and it would take us a while to pin it down because we didn't have any education, I guess for lack of a better way to say it, on what to look for or what would be grief associated. And such a young child, you're dealing, you know, we didn't know if we were dealing with just her growing up, normal child behavior, or if it was related to grief. And then every child is unique, and so, you know, and I have 3, so it's overwhelming trying to pin down and know how to talk because they're so young and they don't know how to communicate yet. So having help, even having somebody to help her, give her the words to say, yeah, to help her communicate to us when she was experiencing something would have been huge. You know, a big challenge is we all have these new identities now, and we're all trying to find our way back to each other and our new sense of normal. And just somewhere that could have helped us do that, somewhere that could have helped her communicate to us what she was going through, and somewhere that would have helped us as parents, you know, just be the best parents for her.
And that's what we hope to bring to Northern Colorado and build this community grief center where we help the children, but we do it in conjunction with their primary caregiver, whether it be the remaining parent or sometimes it's not a parent at all, but that we do a dual track because they need to understand their child's grief and they need to incorporate their own grief because everyone is grieving and everyone grieves individually. As you said, you know, one child grieves differently than your other child. And this is what we're hoping to build in Greeley because there is such a need for a place for our children to be safe, to thrive, to learn, and to build lives that are successful as they grow up. So thank you both. I know this has been short, and it's very hard to talk about the death of a loved one, but I appreciate your time today and you're making the effort, and thank you for your time.